1, 2, 3, 4. Song of the South. Sweet potato pie and I shut my mouth. Go with the wind. Ain't nobody looking back again. Welcome to the pod.
Welcome to our podcast.
2 cents, Josh and Spence. We're your hosts, Josh and
Spence.
What's up, homie?
Not much, man.
Dude, we got a nice little pod today.
We have a mediocre guest today. No, I'm just kidding.
We looked around the office. We'd be like, okay, no. And then we looked at these. We're like, no. And then we saw Cuka. We're like,
He'll do.
that's the one.
He's got some free time. We actually asked like 50 other people. They all said no.
Yeah,
Cuka was just the first one to say yes.
Thank you guys for that amazing intro.
So today we have Austin Cuka. He is one of the agents on the Jaster group. And he, to be honest, has been killing it so far.
Meh.
No, he has. I mean, his work ethic is wild. So I am very excited to kind of pick his brain and just figure out how he operates. So tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Where are you from? What got you interested in real estate and all that?
Cool. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me on the pod. I'm from New London, Minnesota. I lived in Fargo for 8 years, and I kind of been like moving around a little bit after that. I was living in Rochester, and then I was living in Boise, Idaho. Found real estate out there because the real estate market was super hot. And then I kind of had this like come to where I was like, I don't know anybody here. So then I was like, okay, like professionally, it makes a lot of sense for me to move back to Fargo. Found the Jaster group because when I was in Boise, I was at KW there, and like they recommended this cool group of people here. So yeah, found JG, and like I just fell in love with it right away. Like it was very much so like a family vibe, which like is something that I was looking for. Like I've been on teams before, and it's kind of like a collection of individuals, but it's like much more family vibes here, and love that you guys spread joy and empower others. Just like a great place for me to be.
Nice, man. Yeah, we love having you. That's for sure. You bring a lot of
Bring the juice.
Yeah, you bring the juice, and like you like are willing to get out of your comfort zone, and it kind of pushes me. And it's like, okay, if he's doing it, I can do it too. So I'm starting to get more comfortable being uncomfortable because of you. So it's been very cool.
Austin,
Thank you.
Everyone very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But no, that is a big part of like the culture we wanted to create is just that like teaching a man to fish, right? So I don't want people to come on the team because they think like, oh well, we'll give them these leads and this is what we can get. More so of like, hey, I'm willing to do what it takes. Like, show me how to become a successful agent. And Austin has been an incredible example of somebody like, what am I supposed to do? You want me to teach first time homebuyer class that I know nothing about? Yeah, we could do that in 2 weeks for sure.
I've never done it before, but I'll learn how to do it.
No idea.
Yep.
But yeah. So it's been cool and it's very refreshing and yeah, it just is like if anybody's ever been on a team, like it's like the sum of its parts or whatever, or you're is well, I have to breathe.
Sorry if you were hearing me breathe. We interrupt this podcast.
Sorry for breathing, Spotify.
And subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Smash that like button if you like hearing me breathe. But no, it's what you want is somebody to come on and not like, hey, ask like what can you give me, but show me the way and like show me what it looks like to be successful, and I'm going to go do it.
So I've always been curious. Have you always had this kind of like motivation and work ethic, or like when did that start for you? Like just your willingness to do whatever it takes, no matter how uncomfortable it is. Like, have you always been like that?
No. I would say different periods of times I had. like I feel like I always knew that I would like figure out a job or a career that I liked, but like I bounced around a lot. I tried a lot of different things. Like, you know, I had a job at like Target. I had a manual labor job. I tried to learn how to code. Like I tried all the things, and I was like, after 3 to 6 months of doing something, like I was like, okay, I'm not so into this. And then I think like in my head I was always like, I'm ready to like full send into something. And then like
Send it.
yeah, and then like during COVID, I got like laid off from my company. I just remember that feeling that day. Like I was like so relieved. I was like, oh my gosh, like I felt like that was like the best thing that happened to me. And like it was really tough going. Like I just decided to like kind of go the entrepreneur route and like figure it out, where I could have just like got another regular job. But so I kind of used that time to like program myself, or whatever you want to call it, into like being like really successful at like whatever that next thing was. So like read a ton of books, like really selective with like who I surrounded myself with. Watch a lot of YouTube videos. I love YouTube because like it's free, and there's like so many resources on there. Like I've listened to so many, like Think and Grow Rich, like The Science of Getting Rich, Earl Nightingale. So many people who just like tell you how to add value to yourself as a person, how to like be the top 1% in whatever you do. So kind of just like use that last 2 or 3 years to kind of like download all the information. And then when I found real estate, like I knew that for me it was like a big hurdle to just go and talk to people. It's like I worked in an office and then like stuff like that. So like going out and doing stuff was like scary. But then I knew like the person that real estate required me to be was like the person that I wanted to be. I was like, if I don't get up at 5 a.m., go to the gym. If I don't work, I don't get paid. So I was like, okay, like this is the environment I need to be like the best version of myself. So kind of definitely took a while to get here. And no, I did not always have all the motivation and work ethic.
Yeah. And I've kind of been like trying to do the same thing. Like what you're putting into your mind and what you're putting into your body and stuff, like it makes a difference. And who you surround yourself is a big one.
Yep.
Like I've been noticing that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I notice especially like the people you surround yourself with, like being around people in the Jaster group and like-minded individuals. Like I just feel better, and I feel more motivated.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely I know what you mean there.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. So one of the other, well, you mentioned not like always being the person who would just go up and talk to someone.
Yeah.
So like I remember when you first got here and you were very new.
Yeah.
And this guy, I mean, you faked it because like you were like, I'm ready to call anyone. I'll do it. So one of the first things we had this poor kid do is call a for sale by owner. And this guy was not happy to be on the phone with Austin Cuka. And he lit him up.
Okay, so for those not listening, so from a real estate perspective, I would say like calling someone who has their house listed for sale by owner is probably the scariest thing that you can do.
Yep.
Because they naturally, like for whatever they think they don't need you, they don't value what you do, and they're
most of the time, like somewhere along the road, they've had a really bad experience with a realtor. Mm-hmm. So like they're just angry at you for no reason.
Yeah. And they're not mad at you. They're mad at the idea of whatever. But yeah, so this poor dude, like, fire it up, man. Give him a call. And then just watch this kid get put out to slaughter.
I mean, we didn't even throw out a life jacket for him. We let him drown. It was bad.
Just watch it happen.
But he got off the phone, and I mean, he hung in there, dude. He hung in there and listened to this guy. And it was very cool to see, but also sad to watch.
I remember that. Like it was like Josh was like, "All right, it's your turn," and I remember like I had the number dialed on my phone, and I remember how scared I was in that moment. I was like, I wrote the lines down, what I was gonna say. And I had the number, like I had everything in front of me that I needed.
I don't think you said those things.
No. And there was like such a mental block and like so uncomfortable, so scared. Like I was like trembling on the inside. And Yeah, it was a train wreck.
But that reminds me of like they say, feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yep.
Because what a lot of people do is they would be like, oh, I gotta pee.
Yep.
And then
Find
they get up
some
and
way
leave,
out.
and they're like, well, how am I supposed to call this physical? My desk is a mess right
Yep.
now. I got to clean my desk.
I've never called anyone before. Why would I need to start with a for sale by owner?
But and then there's another. Tony Robbins has a quote. He's like, if you can't, you must, and if you must, you can. And so just be like, yeah, I know what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. But that story reminds me of, so when I first, I can just very much relate, because I remember when I lived in Seattle very briefly, I had a job where I was like a debt collector over the phone. And after like 2 days, it's like, all right, man, answer the phone, or like call this guy. And I remember the same thing. Like it's that like moment of decision. Like you're going left, you're going right. And it's like, whew, and then you just call them. And then, so I could very much relate. I'm very proud of you for doing that. Yeah. And it's pretty sweet to see what has happened since then. Because it's like one of those things where like you don't do it, right? You don't take action, and then all of a sudden, well, I'll call him tomorrow.
Yep.
I'll call tomorrow. And then like this little monkey on your back like gets bigger and bigger and bigger until like, well, maybe real estate's not for me or whatever. It's like, just call him.
Yep.
He's not going to smack you over the phone,
I mean, this guy did.
If he could have, he would have.
Yeah.
But it's another thing is like after that call, like it's easy for someone to be like, you know what, that sucked. I'm never doing that again. Or, maybe this job isn't for me. But for you, it motivated you to become better, so that when that happens again, like you are more prepared.
Yeah.
So like I remember calling my first for sale by owner, and it went very similar to how that went.
Yeah.
And I didn't call another for sale by owner for over a year.
Oof.
And now you're very good at calling for sale by owners.
Yeah.
So I mean, how does it feel now? Like, do you still have those same nerves?
No. Yeah, like definitely like what we did, and that's why I love JG is like it's like the power of the team. Like like we were all sitting there and like I was scared, but like I felt safe, even though I got smacked over the phone.
Yep.
But then like those weeks following, we're like, hey, look, let's go do this again. Like let's mastermind. Like every Wednesday, let's go in a room and let's have a conversation. And like I was like, well, like I feel less scared with the team. And then it's like, the next 2 or 3 weeks, like I was still scared, but the conversations are getting better. And then now, like I'm checking Zillow like every day, and like I'm driving by houses, and like if I see for sale by owner, I'm like, I'll call them right now, because like, after like doing it so many times, you learn like they probably need your help, but like either like you said, either they had a bad experience, or like for whatever reason they don't want to pay you or whatever. But, like if you find a way to like solve their problems, or like just help them, or even just like have a conversation, like I've called for sale by owners and just like had a conversation with them, met them at their house, and like like obviously you would like their business, but like if it doesn't end up in that, like you had a good conversation, like at least you walked away from something. So kind of like the mindset of that, I'm like, well, if anything, I'll just be able to like another rep, like I'll learn something. So now I definitely look forward to the for sale by owners.
Yep.
And that's the right, and like I love what you're saying. So right there, you just said like, I'm just coming from contribution. I'm just trying to help, right? And that's kind of our mantra that we always kind of joke after someone like kicks you out the phone. You're like, hey, just trying to help, baby. Come on, just trying to help. Just trying to help. So just constantly just trying to add value and come from contribution, because like you don't get paid for not adding value. You get paid for the value that you add.
Yeah.
Right. But then too, just mentioning earlier, like just knowing what you want, and knowing that like it's not just going to happen. I have to become this dude that can do this.
Yeah.
And then you become that dude, and then it's pretty sweet. And then it's just like, then that just opens your, well, it's like, well, if I can do this, what else can I do?
Right.
And then just kind of keeps that momentum going. But no, it's been a lot of fun to watch, and it's fun to see like our little group kind of just growing and becoming like more powerful, And then too, so quick little success story, like a handful for sale by owners we've now closed.
Yep.
So not like we've closed, but they have sold their home and netted more money using us than they would have otherwise.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, we get paid to add that value to them. We put more money in their pocket,
Yep.
and not only that, we got the house. Not only did we like get the house sold under contract, but we got it to close, and then we made it a great experience for them. And we've had several people give us 5-star reviews, going from for sale by owner, like, I don't want to talk to this dude, to like, oh, okay, cool, thank you.
Yep.
You know,
Watch out for sell by owners. If you answer Austin Cuka's call, you're going to get more money.
and get,
Only if you want.
You're going to get more money and have a way better experience. Be careful.
Yeah.
But
Be careful when you pick up your phone.
but it's
Exactly.
funny too, because we've created an environment where, so we've taken something that sucks or can suck, calling for sale by owners, a high rejection, whatever. Because I remember doing that by myself too in a little cubicle, and someone tells me to kick rocks, and then I feel like garbage, and I go home and you know. But now we do it different. We make it fun.
Yeah. So one of the other really cool things that Austin has done is we're in this class right now called Bold. And I mean, we could do a whole episode on just this class, and we probably should, but we're running out of time for this one. But one of the challenges is called a Bold 100. So the goal is to talk to 100 people, like a two-way conversation about real estate. And I mean, 100 people, to me, it sounds like a lot. Some people, if it doesn't sound like a lot to you, I promise it is.
Yeah.
It is a very difficult thing to do. And just yesterday, Austin did one. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, kind of going back to the like getting, like knowing where my comfort zone is and just like pushing the envelope. Like we're sitting in class, and like this last week he was like, has anyone done the Bold 100? And nobody raised their hand. And I was like, next week I'm going to raise my hand. So like I had made the decision then to do it. And then like, so like I didn't have a great plan, but I knew I was going to do it. So woke up in the morning, like started sending texts to friends. Like I made social media posts. Like I told everybody on my social media, my Facebook, my Instagram, that like I was going to do it. I was like, all right, well, I told everybody now. If I don't do it, everybody's going to not believe my word. So like that's a big thing for me, is just like telling people what I'm going to do, because then like I know I'll do it. So yeah, like I sent a bunch of texts, the social media posts. I had a little bit of a mental block talking to people at the gym. Like I didn't really do that. I only talked to like a couple people at the gym. I don't know, for whatever reason I didn't do that. But then yeah, like went to the grocery store, talked to a couple people there, talked to a guy at the gas station, came in, practiced scripts that morning, talked to a couple of our lenders. And yeah, by like 9 or something like that, I was at like 13. I remember thinking, I was like, wow, this is gonna be hard.
Yeah.
And then like I knew I was gonna door knock. Like that was my big thing. I was like, I was gonna text people that I knew, and I was gonna door knock. So like whatever, I had a showing, and then after that I started texting people basically from like 11 to 2. I was just like sending out texts like crazy. I think I got to about 35 or something like that. I think it was like 2 o'clock, 1 or 2 o'clock, and I was like, I gotta like really get going. And I remember I was almost gonna call Josh and be like, hey dude, like I don't know, like I might do this tomorrow or something. And then like I started door knocking, and like I wasn't getting people to answer really. I went to a furniture store, and like I feel like I'd spent a lot of time after texting and like
Just doing business in other businesses.
yeah, seriously.
People walk into a furniture store and normally they're like, or someone is like, hey, what are you looking for? And you're like, hey, do you want to buy a house?
Yeah.
Where am I?
Yeah, and like I talked to people at Shields. That was probably the most uncomfortable. Like, you know, everybody at Shields walks by you and they're like, hey, how can I help you? I was like, yeah, I'm doing a challenge today. I talked to 100 people about real estate, and they're just like, I was like, so if you know of anybody looking to buy or sell, like I would love to help them. And like those conversations were the most awkward ones of the day. But yeah, anyways, like whatever, I got to like probably 3:30, and I think I was sitting right around like 40 or something in there from like the texts and stuff. And then I was like, all right, I got to get going on this door knocking. And I have these like magnets of, it's like the Viking schedule, and it has like my face and contact info. And I started door knocking. Like there's this neighborhood that like I think is super cool by where I live. And I just started knocking on doors, and I was like, hey, I'm doing this challenge today. If you know of anybody looking to buy, sell, invest, like I'd love to help them. I'd give them the Viking schedule, and I'd be like, yeah, I know it's kind of like halfway through the season, and I should have gave these out earlier, but for whatever reason I didn't. But now that we're going to the Super Bowl, like I gotta start handing these out. And like
Shout out TJ Hawkinson.
Sorry, Lions.
And then like people would like laugh, and then people would be like, oh, like what number am I? And I'd be like, oh yeah, you're like 62 or whatever. And like, all right, well, like good luck, keep going. And like
That's awesome.
It was crazy. Like at a certain point it felt divine. Like I felt like all these people are like cheering me on. Like I would basically say the same script, and like some of the conversations, like I would talk to like people on their front porch for like 10 minutes. Some people let me in their house. Like I got contact info, and like I don't know, like I knew I would have success door knocking, but I knew, and like going back to uncomfortable, like the Fizzbowl call, but like door knocking was like my biggest fear probably starting. I remember I did that once, and I was like, I don't know if real estate's for me. But now it's like the number one thing that I want to do, because like after 3:30, from like 3:30 to 6 o'clock, people are gonna answer their door because they're gonna be home. So yeah, I remember I got to like in the 80s or something, and then like those last 15 people, they were all great conversations. Like I got leads, like I got future business, like it felt very divine. Like it was a struggle, but then like those last 15 conversations were like absolutely worth it. So yeah, it was tough, and like I'd be lying if I said that I didn't want to do it again, because like my business exploded in one day.
Yeah.
So like the results you get from stepping outside your comfort zone are like incredible.
When I think that's what it's all about. Like, yeah, you talk to 100 people, and like every business needs to be like prospecting for their people. Mm-hmm. And like that's what's behind it. But really, I think it's more about getting out of your comfort zone and doing something that you think is impossible.
Yeah.
Because to me, it seems impossible, but I think I'm going to do one next week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. I love that.
But so it's super cool, because we've talked a lot about like the secret in manifesting and vision boards and making stuff happen. Like that stuff's all great, and I do believe in it, and I do believe it's very real. Mm-hmm. And if you don't talk to anybody, like I don't believe that it works. Like, hey, I'm going to think really hard and somebody's going to call me.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you took that action, got uncomfortable, and did all the things. And then, too, just what that's going to do for you. Be like, oh, one more thing I didn't think I could do, and now I did it. Like, what's next? And then that then becomes a challenge of, like, and like I was telling you, say, like, camera on me. Camera on
Josh.
Let's say, like, there's this many real estate agents in the world, we'll say. And let's say, like, this many of them, have, like, willing to take a class like Bold, okay? Well, there's about this many that have done Bold 100, and you're one of those people. And that's pretty dope.
Yeah, it feels great. And I think like a couple of the things that came from it that I didn't really expect was like, one, the confidence in myself. Like I remember, like I said, like I was in the 30s range or whatever in the afternoon. I was like, I don't know if I can get this done. And then now, like today, I was like, I want to do one a month, or like it gets really cold in the winter. Like I want to do one a week. And then the other one that like I did not expect was like the respect from my peers, like my social media following, like everybody cheering me on, and like people reaching out to me like, oh, like I got questions about this or that. Like just like the respect I got from that was like so worth it. Like,
that's wild.
Yeah.
I did one last year, but I did it kind of the cheating way. Like I spent like $1,000 on buying Yetis and did a giveaway.
Okay.
So like, I mean, it was great, but now I hear you doing it, and it's like that didn't like get me out of my comfort zone. Yeah. Like I took the easy way out. Mm-hmm. So I plan to do it your way now, and I'm very excited.
Yeah.
So.
Heck yeah.
Cool, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Very excited for your real estate future. You're going to be very, very good. If anyone is currently working with Austin Cuka or plans to, you're going to be in good hands. He's a good guy to be around. So
I was just looking, like I could see the camera that's pointed on him. It's too bad that table's there, because he's got like a massive set of quads on him.
Yeah, you should see this guy's
That's a shame. That's a fail forward. Next time he's on, just quads.
Short shorts. Short shorts.
But yeah,
Separate quad cam.
Quad cam.
Quad cam.
Quad cam.
Oh no.
yeah, we're wildly proud of Austin Cuka. Just the beginning.
Yep.
Let's go.
Watch for deer.
Check about